This 90s Mortal Kombat cartoon had the most brutal ending, and I bet you don't remember it. On a Saturday morning in December of 1996, the final episode of Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm dropped. And Kitana has finally gathered the courage and manpower to rebel against Shao Kahn, who murdered her father Jared and conquered her homeworld of Edenia. She does this with the help of a close family friend, a brand new character never seen in any of the games. A giant eagle with body armor named Asgarth. Asgarth recruits an army of former allies of Edenia to help with Kitana's rebellion. But even then, he feels like the only way to truly get the upper hand against Shao Kahn is to turn one of his allies against him. Fortunately for him, Kitana had actually been secretly convincing Sheeva to join them in rebelling against Shao Kahn. And at this point, everyone is pretty skeptical of Sheeva's loyalty, because she had literally only been super bad prior to this. But at this point, Kitana is so desperate that she just goes with her gut and trusts Sheeva. And it turns out her gut is wrong, because who she thought was Sheeva was actually the shapeshifter Shang Tsung sent to get information about the rebellion. And if you're wondering why Shao Kahn didn't just send Sheeva herself,
Sheeva is a Shao Kahn. She is too stupid to ever convince Kitana.
Yeah, Shao Kahn is an asshole. Back at the MKHQ, everyone is still suspicious of Sheeva, and Raiden decides at the last second not to join them in the fight.
Look, I have no special powers in Outworld.
Yeah, Raiden's been like this since the fucking beginning. The rest of the crew infiltrate Shao Kahn's base and initiate the rebellion. They actually beat up a bunch of Kahn's minions, Sonya straight up sleeps Ermac with one punch, and Liu Kang takes out a bunch of Shadow Priests. It's actually kind of cool to see the Shadow Priests in action like this. Usually you only get to see them floating in the background of the stages and games. And they're actually pretty powerful here too. More powerful than Glass Chin Ermac, that's for sure. But the moment that we all knew was coming came. But even worse than you could have suspected. Because not only does Shang Tsung reveal that he was disguised as Sheeva all along, he also convinced the real Sheeva to join his side in the rebellion against Shao Kahn, using Shao Kahn's prior insults against the Shokans against him. Shao Kahn then threatens to crush them both, and then he just bails.
Traitors! I will crush you both!
This is when Raiden proves to be not as useless as he initially put on, because he knew Sheeva couldn't be trusted the entire time, and so he secretly informed Motaro of Sheeva's descent. The catch is, while Motaro and his army of centaurs are there to help defeat Sheeva, he's still very much loyal to Shao Kahn, so this isn't so much a part of the rebellion as much as it is an escape plan just in case things fail. At this point, Sheeva, Shang Tsung, Motaro, and all of the respective armies immediately break out into a combat free-for-all. Knowing that whoever comes out on top of this bloodbath will just turn on them anyway, the MK crew decide to just bail back to the Earth Realm. But not before getting their hands dirty on the way out, because obviously they can't resist a good fight. So they knock out a few randoms, and Sub-Zero, well, he does that super brutal thing where he freezes someone and then punches them into a million pieces. So for those of you who had an idea of this show being completely devoid of violence, here you go. A straight up fatality in a kid's show. It does this a few times in the show too. The rest is just really sad because everyone pretty much tells Kitana that her entire plan was a complete failure.
Kitana, it's over.
And the way she reacts to it all is just so depressing.
No.
And then it ends. The beautiful realm of Edenia that she reminisces about at the beginning of the episode remains just a memory. And they just leave. And the show just ends right there. It's one of the most depressing and brutal endings in all of Mortal Kombat. Besides, of course, that one. Subscribe for more.